Top 7 Hollywood Stars Who Hated Their Own Movies. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of Hollywood's most shocking secrets that will completely change how you view your favorite movies. We're talking about the times when the biggest stars in the world openly despised the very films that made them millions of dollars and household names. From beloved musicals to superhero blockbusters, what you're about to discover will blow your mind. Have you ever wondered what happens when the magic of Hollywood meets the brutal reality of an actor's true feelings? Stay tuned because we're counting down the top 7 Hollywood stars who absolutely hated their own movies. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more shocking Hollywood secrets. Turn on notifications so you never miss our latest reveals about what really goes on behind the scenes in Tinseltown. Number 7. Katherine Heigl and Knocked Up. Let's start with one of the most controversial celebrity takedowns in recent memory. Katherine Heigl became a household name after starring alongside Seth Rogen in the 2007 comedy hit Knocked Up. But here's what you didn't know. She absolutely despised the final product. While promoting the film, Heigl shocked everyone by calling the movie a little sexist and claiming it paints the women as shrews, as humorless and uptight. She went even further, saying she had a hard time promoting something she didn't fully believe in. The most surprising part? Heigl actually loved working on the film but was horrified by how her character was portrayed in the final cut. This is where it gets interesting. Imagine spending months creating something you love, only to hate the final result. Have you ever worked on a project that turned out completely different from what you expected? Let us know in the comments below. But wait, what's coming next is even more surprising when we talk about an actor who hated the role that made him a global phenomenon. Number 6. Robert Pattinson and Twilight. This might shock Twilight fans around the world, but Robert Pattinson has never hidden his absolute hatred for the vampire saga that made him a superstar. The British actor famously said, "The more I read the script, the more I hated this guy. So that's how I played him, as a manic depressive who hates himself." Pattinson's disdain went far beyond just disliking the character. He consistently mocked the films during press tours, called the storyline ridiculous, and admitted he was actively trying to make Edward as unlikable as possible. The most shocking revelation? He started hating the franchise before he even finished filming the first movie. Despite earning tens of millions of dollars from the franchise, Pattinson has consistently distanced himself from anything vampire-related ever since. But hang tight, because our next entry involves a legendary actor who called his most famous role boring. Number 5. Christopher Plummer and the Sound of Music. Here's something that will absolutely shock fans of this beloved classic. Christopher Plummer, who played the charming Captain Von Trapp, spent decades openly hating the sound of music. The legendary actor famously referred to the 1965 musical as The Sound of Mucus. Plummer found his character boring, and the entire movie too sentimental and gooey. He told The Hollywood Reporter it was the toughest role, because it was so awful and sentimental and gooey. You had to work terribly hard to try and infuse some minuscule bit of humor into it. The most surprising part? Plummer actively avoided talking about the film for years and would visibly cringe whenever interviewers brought it up. He felt the movie was beneath his classical training and was embarrassed by its massive popularity. Can you imagine starring in one of the most beloved films of all time and absolutely despising every minute of it? Share your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned, because what's coming next involves a Star Wars legend who called his iconic role rubbish. Number 4. Alec Guinness and Star Wars. This revelation will absolutely devastate Star Wars fans. Sir Alec Guinness, the legendary actor who brought Obi-Wan Kenobi to life, genuinely hated everything about Star Wars. Despite becoming one of the most beloved characters in cinema history, Guinness called the dialogue rubbish and felt embarrassed by his involvement in the franchise. Guinness was particularly frustrated because he felt the role overshadowed his distinguished career in classical theater and serious films. He famously wrote in his diary that the script was pretty fairy tale rubbish, and worried that the film would damage his reputation as a serious actor. The most shocking part? Guinness actively discouraged young fans from watching Star Wars. He once told a young fan who approached him to forget about Star Wars and focus on more meaningful cinema instead. But wait, our next entry gets even more dramatic when we talk about an action star who called his own movie the worst film ever made. Number 3. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Red Sonja. Even the Terminator himself isn't immune to making movies he absolutely hates. Arnold Schwarzenegger has been brutally honest about his 1985 sword and sorcery disaster Red Sonja, calling it the worst film I have ever made. But here's where Schwarzenegger's honesty gets hilarious. He revealed that when his children misbehave, he punishes them by making them watch Red Sonja 10 times. He joked, "When my kids get out of line, they're sent to their rooms and forced to watch Red Sonja 10 times. I never had too much trouble with them." The film was both a critical and commercial disaster, making only $6.9 million against an $18 million budget. Schwarzenegger has never tried to defend the movie, and instead uses it as comedy material in interviews. Have you ever had to admit that something you worked hard on turned out to be a complete disaster? Let us know how you handled it in the comments. This is where it gets even more interesting. Our next star literally tried to warn people not to watch his own movie. Number 2. Paul Newman and the Silver Chalice. Here's one of the most extreme examples of an actor hating his own work. Legendary actor Paul Newman was so embarrassed by his 1954 debut film, The Silver Chalice, that he took out a full-page advertisement in newspapers apologizing for his performance. Newman famously urged people not to watch the film when it was broadcast on television, publicly calling it the worst motion picture produced during the 1950s. He was so mortified by his performance that he actively campaigned against his own movie. The most shocking part? Newman's hatred for this film motivated him to become a better actor. He used the embarrassment as fuel to improve his craft, eventually becoming one of Hollywood's most respected performers. But wait until you hear this next part. Our number 1 entry involves a movie star who used profanity to describe his own blockbuster film. Number 1. Mark Wahlberg and The Happening. Taking the top spot is Mark Wahlberg's absolutely savage takedown of M. Night Shyamalan's 2008 disaster, The Happening. Wahlberg didn't just dislike this movie, he went on a profanity-filled rant about how terrible it was. While promoting The Fighter, Wahlberg revealed that Amy Adams dodged a bullet by not signing on to The Happening, then launched into an epic rant. "It is what it is. Fecking trees, man, the plants, I fick it. You can't blame me for not wanting to try to play a science teacher. At least I wasn't playing a cop or a crook." What makes this even more hilarious is Wahlberg's complete confusion about the film's plot. He seemed genuinely baffled by the idea of plants causing people to commit suicide and couldn't understand why anyone thought it was a good movie concept. Wahlberg's brutal honesty about The Happening has become legendary in Hollywood, with many actors citing his comments as an example of how to handle career mistakes with humor and self-awareness. What's your take on actors who openly criticize their own work? Do you respect their honesty or think they should stay loyal to their projects? Share your thoughts in the comments below. These 7 examples prove that even the biggest stars in Hollywood are human beings capable of making mistakes and having regrets. What's fascinating is how each of these actors handled their disappointment differently. Some used humor, others showed genuine remorse, and a few turned their failures into motivation for better choices. The entertainment industry is unpredictable, and sometimes projects that seem promising during production turn into disasters in the final cut. These stars' willingness to admit their mistakes actually makes them more relatable and authentic to their fans. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more shocking Hollywood revelations. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest deep dives into what really happens behind the scenes in Tinseltown. Thank you for being part of our community. What kind of videos would you like us to make next? Let us know in the comments. See you on the next video.